Hello and welcome to the virtual open house. This is the soft launch and a sneak peek inside. So some of you have already visited. Thank you so much for coming and testing it out, giving me your feedback. Let me get straight into it and just tell you what I'm talking about here. So what I have set up is a virtual house. Each of those arrows you can see, so the black dot with the arrow, that leads you into a particular room in the house. So for example, I've just been running an online coaching group. I've set up a Pomodoro room for them where that's a timer there in the corner. So they go in, click on any of the seats that they want to sit on, start the timer, get your head down, work for that amount of time. Other people might join you in the space, but it's not necessarily a space where you're going to be getting too chatty. It's just to come in and do the work and set the timer. At the end of the timer, you can reset it. You can also pause during the timer as well. But what I have got here, I think that's the one I'm looking for. Let's see, because I'm going to see if I can possibly, I'm going to see if I can maybe, because screen sharing is often a bit iffy with this one. But what I'm going to do is I am going to see if the screen share will work. And if it does, that would be absolutely amazing. Right, so I'm hoping, and I might, before I start going into this, I'm just going to visit my Facebook page and just check and see if what you can see is what I hope you can see in terms of the, one sec, there's a little bit of a time delay, it's slightly behind it. So one of the things, whenever you arrive in these spaces, what you will see is these little dots here. So you can click anywhere to sit down, and then that gives you a view of the room and gives you access to what's in there. There's also a chat, and you can toggle that chat up and down. And I'm looking at myself on the screen. I cannot see that. I don't think you can see my screen share. Yeah, sometimes, let me just try. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit weird in terms of the screen share. So it's not gonna show me what I want it to show you. So I'm gonna stop sharing because clearly that's not working. So what I am going to do, have to do this in real time now, is I'm going to share with you just a couple of the rooms that I've set up just to give you a bit of a flavor. So we've looked at the Pomodoro room. Oh, let's go to the nightclub. They're all very different. All of the rooms are completely different in terms of styling, how they're set up. I've set up a couple of rooms, for example. So this is the nightclub. What you will notice here in the corner is there's a little video. So that video has sound effects. So it's the sound of the barista, and he's stirring the ice, and then he's pouring the drinks, and then they're clinking the glasses, and you can hear the hubbub of people talking whilst they're in the club. So that's kind of one of them. Another one, let me show you got the meditation room, for example. So I'm going to have to just bring these up in real time. I'm always going to screen share, but clearly it doesn't want to do that. So the meditation room with playlists. So that's the one. So there's also a meditation room. What happens in the meditation room is you can have your own experience of that. So when you land in the meditation room, I'm just checking, yeah, you can see. When you land in the meditation room, again, there's an invitation that says click on a seat. So you click on one of the circles to sit down. I've added a playlist, for example. So there are sleep meditations, there's binaural beats, there's solfeggio frequency, there are I am affirmations. So just scroll through the playlist, listen to whatever it is you want while you're in the meditation room. Now, if someone else comes into the room, they can also use the playlist, but they will have a completely different experience to you. They will not be able to see or hear what you are listening to or watching, and vice versa. The only way you can interact is if you choose to activate your microphone. So it's going to be entirely up to you. Now I'm going to show you the very first room that I set up, which was the coffee shop. So let me bring you up the coffee shop. And what I've done is I've added to this. If you went into the coffee shop when I first set it up, it's now different. It looks the same, but I've just added a few nuances to it. So on this side, you've also got a playlist. So there are some videos that you might want to watch. What's that one? I've put my interview with Greg Braden, for example. If you go to page 2 of the playlist, there's one of my favorite books, The Game of Life. Fantastic book. So it might be you're in there having a coffee, listening to or watching something. So you might want to listen to the audiobook, for example. And if you don't want to do that, on the right hand side, I have again added some sound effects. So what you'll hear on this one is the sound of the barista clacking the machine, pouring the coffee. And again, you're going to hear the hubbub and the conversations that are going on. One of the things that people have said who have tried it out and experimented is that Marilyn, I actually felt like I was there because you get the atmosphere of it. Now, if you want to do some mega relaxation, I'm going to show you the swimming pool. So let's see. I've just been having fun with it, figuring out how it all works at the moment. But of course, oh, thank you, Sita. There are some more serious rooms as well while we have a play about. So let me show you the swimming pool. So this is the swimming pool. You can, again, you go in, click one of the dots, sit yourself down, and in the left-hand side, press play, and it's the sound of somebody in a swimming pool. There are some visuals of people swimming as well, so you get the sound effects while you're there. One of the ways that you can navigate around the house, all of the rooms are set up differently, but I've done my best to always put your navigation back to the main house as that black arrow there. So the only time it doesn't take you back to the main house, if you were in the club and you went into, let me just show you this. I was just having a little bit of a play around, but I'm going to show you where it takes you, where the club takes you. So we're going to go the bathroom. That's what I called it, I think. Yeah, there we go. Bathroom in gold. So you might be in the club and you decide that you need the bathroom. So when you're in the bathroom at the club, what will happen is that there are 2 arrows. So one is going to take you back to the nightclub. The other one was, so this one I think takes you to the main room. The other one takes you back to the nightclub. So yeah, I was just having fun with it. What I have also done, don't think I've got a screenshot of that one. For those of you who are doing the Fearless Public Speaking workshop, for example, let me just check, because I was just going to do, as I said, I was going to do a live tour, so I didn't bother to set all this up beforehand. Let me just see if I've put the theatre in, because if I have, I can give you yes. Is that the one? Yeah, I think so. Let me just see what comes up on this one. Sita says, very posh bathroom. Love it. I know. I thought we might as well do it in style while we're doing it. So yes, I love it too, actually. I think it's really cool. I'm like, I want to live in this house. So that's that. Here we go. So this one, for example, looks a bit daunting. When you see the whole thing, the bit that's nearest to you, if you're sitting watching, is the stage. So you can use this for your practice room. This is the older version. What I've also put in there now is a timer. So this one starts counting upwards. So let's just say you're going to practice your 3-minute presentation or a 2-minute presentation or a 60-second presentation. Click on stage so that you're then looking out into the auditorium. Press the timer, which I added over the weekend, so you can keep track of time. I've also put on the right-hand side of this one the video. Remember, we had the script for the process for going from blank sheet of paper to having your presentation ready in 5 minutes. So that script is on that video. So what you can be doing is standing on stage, practicing along with the video, just filling in the blanks, have the timer running as well. And because you're not really in a massive auditorium, you can very easily keep an eye on all of those things and just give you a chance to orientate yourself. There are also some themed rooms. So while we are here, let me show you a couple of the themed rooms. Let's see. What should we go for? Do you know what I'm going to do? Because I have to keep typing in that same bit first of all. So why don't I just copy and paste that in from here on in. Duh. Yes, there is a, just trying to think what they are actually. So there's a soul plan room, for example. So if you don't know much about soul plans, or you wanted to experience it, or you actually want to see a soul plan report, head into the soul plan room. There's a video of an interview that I did for Colourful Radio that you can listen to. So you can listen to that, get a bit of information. You'll sometimes see there are these URLs, so the button. So on this one, you can visit the Soul Plan website. On this one, you can, oh yeah, if you wanted to register, pre-register, join the waiting list for my Soul Plan practitioner training, if you wanted to become a Soul Plan reader yourself. And over the weekend, I added a third button, which is the Whitney Houston Soul Plan, which I did posthumously. And so you get a sense of what's in the Soul Plan. In this particular room as well, where it says My View, where my cursor is swirling around, click on that, and there's a PDF of a demo Soul Plan report. So you click on that, it downloads, well, I'm on a PC, it downloads it to my desktop. Click on it, it will open the PDF. You actually see what a Soul Plan report looks like. I've just used a fictitious name, but it gives you a sense of what all of that is about. So that's the Soul Plan room. One that there's a Huna. Oh, I'm going to show you the Huna room actually, because that's kind of cool, even if I do say so myself. So we're going to go Huna. Whoops. Huna room, Huna room, Huna room. That's the one I'm looking for. And I'll remove that one and take me there. There we go. The Huna room is, again, it's fun. Well, I think it is. So when you get into the Huna room, again, you're going to click on one of the dots to sit down. At the moment, I'm sitting in the water. And there's a fire on the table. That was the setup of the room. If you want to do a fire ritual, particularly if we've gone through one of the Huna fire rituals, press that video top left, and you get a fire burning, and complete with, I put all the sound effects in for that as well. If you don't know anything about Huna, there's a 60-minute video where I give you an overview and an interaction and kind of just explain what it is. You see this little button here, the YouTube emblem. If you click on that once when the video is open, it will close it. Click on it again, it will open it. The same with these 9 dots. So I've got a link here, let's say to the one-day Huna on demand workshop. You might go, oh, I've seen it, I've done it. Click the 9 dots and it's a toggle key. Same with the chat. There's a little arrow. So you click it once, the chat opens up, click it again, the chat closes down. And then over here on the right-hand side, if you're looking by the turtle, what I've done is I've done a little video with water. So you hear the water, the crashing of the waves. You then see somebody walking through the beach. And it actually is, the beginning of it is the same color as the water in the picture. So you just kind of get more of a feel and an experience for it. So that just gives you a little bit of a flavor of what we're doing, what we're playing around with. But what you can do is just, everything navigates you back to the main house. I have just set up, actually this is a good one. If you saw my post over the weekend where I was saying I was in the Telegraph newspaper, for example, let me just going to show you this one while we are here. Did I do a, oh, maybe I didn't do a URL for this one. No, I didn't do I haven't done a URL for it yet, a screenshot, but I've set up a block therapy room. With the block therapy room, I've put the interview that I did with the creator of block therapy. So that's in there. There is a link that I had. Deanna is a person who created block therapy, lovely woman. And she set up a free link where you can do the 9-day sampler program. So I think when it started off, it's $47, something like that. You can do that free of charge. And so the link to that is in the block therapy room. Also, what's in the block therapy room, the link to the blocks if you wanted to know more, and the magazine that came out yesterday, well, sorry, on Saturday in the Telegraph newspaper. That was a physical magazine. And there's also an online version of that article. And the online one is actually longer. So there's a link to the online article where I did the interview about how I use block. Because this time last year, well, actually, I'd already discovered block therapy, so I was well on the way to recovery. But at the start of last year, for the first 5-6 months of the year, I could barely move my arm. I could just about do that with it. And within a couple of weeks, a problem I've had with my ankle for 30 years. That's 30 gone in 20 days. And within 5 weeks, within the first 3 weeks, I started to notice I was getting a bit more of a range of movement. Within 5 weeks, I was pretty much back to normal. And within week number 6, I was like, oh yeah. Whereas previously I could just about get my arm to there and I couldn't move it behind me. All of that is in the block therapy room. So go forth and check that one out. And I just want to see, is there anything else I want to show you while I'm here? So we've looked at the coffee shop. We've looked at the nightclub. We've looked at the Huna. Ah, yes. Here's what I want to show you. All right, let me show you this one. What I'm also doing, I'm always in test mode. You kind of know that. One of the things that I've set up, so that's that one. I want to pull up the other one first because that gives you a better view of, what was that one? That was the Huna again, but yay. Right, so I'm going to do these two. So I'm going to show you this. What I've just sent out in my e-newsletter list a couple of hours ago, I'm thinking of using these spaces also to deliver workshops, not necessarily my live workshops. That's going to be, I'm going to use the platform that's much more robust where I can deliver the handouts, have the private chat going on as well as the public chat. So that's going to remain the same. However, one of the things I have discovered is that I can stream that into the room after I've done the recording. So what I wanted to know is, and I want a few people to test it out. Now it's a paid workshop, so I can't give it to you for free. But what I'm doing, this one, for example, this one is $307 normally. I've sent you the coupon code. If you're on my e-newsletter list, we can do it for $71. That's about 50, I don't know, 54, 57 pounds, depending on the exchange rate. And what I want for you, there's a list of 4 questions that I want you to feed back on. So basically, I want to know, number 1, does the stream work okay? If you have any issues, what device are you on? Number 2, is the screen that I've set up big enough, or would you maybe want me to make it larger, because I can actually do that? Number 3, how does it feel doing it in this kind of environment? And what this means is you can do it at any time. You can go into that room anytime you like, press play, watch the video, pause it, etc. Someone else can come into the room who's also purchased the program. They will press play, but it doesn't affect you. You're still having your experience. They are having their experience. But the benefit of doing it this way, because if you purchase a replay via my regular site, you've got the replay. That's fantastic. But I've got nothing to do with that. With this program, there's potential that I can pop into the room. So you can see me there in the corner, sitting in that particular room. So I might go, oh, there's somebody in the room doing the course today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening. And if I'm about, I can click on one of those seats, open my microphone, say, hey, have you got any questions? Yada, yada, yada. Or even put my camera on if I want to. We can have a discussion about it. Or I can be saying to people, as you get questions, put them in the chat, and I'll cycle back and I'll answer those questions. So it makes it a lot more dynamic. I'm also playing with, so this is a fun one. I'm not saying I'm going to leave it like this, but the same applies for because that was for the Huna workshop. This one's for the Money Breakthrough workshop. Again, this one was $317. You can do it for $71 for the period of time, just while I get the feedback and decide. So you go in, press play. It wants your name and your email address, because you have to register with the webinar platform so it can start deliver and send you. It will send you the link to the main source material as well. Then what you'll do, you're going to hit the payment gateway, the paywall. Use the coupon codes that I put in the e-newsletter list, and then what that will do, it will reduce it by the $235, whatever it is, so you get to do it for the £71, $71, £51, etc. And again, I want to know your experience. What would you like as a theme? Do you prefer the classroom theme? Do you prefer something a bit more fun? Because this one's a Money Breakthrough, so just playing about. I put the gold bullion behind it. But I really want your feedback in terms of how does that work? What's it like as a dynamic space? Because I think it'll be really nice to be able to interact with people in this way and play about with it. But you're always going to be, all roads lead back to the main house. And what you would do, of course, this is a static picture, so I can't show you in real life, but what you would do is you would hover over the black dots, and above it, it tells you which room it is. So there's the photo reading room, preview room. I've set up a free training there, no email required. Just go in, press play. And the way that you get into this site is that you click on the link. So this one is www.online.transformationstm.com/main house, for example. And all of the rooms have got their individual names, but the main house will give you access to what you can see on the screen. And then once you're in the main house, with the exception of the Pomodoro room and the theatre, which have are password protected because they're for my paid groups, everything else at the moment is open access. So anyone can click and go and have a look around. All you need to do when you use the URL, it will ask you for a name. You can call yourself Fifi Trixabel, whatever. I've just been using my first name most of the time. So you put a name in. It then takes you to a screen where you choose an avatar, or you can set up your own, upload your own picture. I actually really like their avatars. They're pretty cool. So most of the time I use the avatar. And then that's it. You can just click into any room you want to go in. If you go to the photo reading preview room, which at the moment is around here on the left-hand side, go in, press play. It will just play the 2-hour training for you. That's it. With the meditation room, with the soul plan room, with the coffee shop where I've got the playlist, with the nightclub, go in, press play, scroll through the playlist, press play, that's it. There's nothing, you don't need an email address, there's no sign up, there's nothing to download. At the moment, it's open access because, as you all know, I'm a fan of online and I recognize that people are zoomed out. But this, for me, and for people who have played around with it and joined me in the rooms, and I've had a few people from other organizations come and look around the house. One guy was like, oh my God, I don't want to leave. It's just so cool. So it just creates a different kind of atmosphere, and with the sound effects and all of that sort of stuff. So my suggestion is go in, have a play, explore the rooms. When you land on the main house, this video was out of date 3 days after I did it, because when I did the video, I think it was like 6 rooms and now there's like 20. But it's going to give you the gist, and it just talks you through a little bit about how to do it, but I'll probably update it. But it just navigates you around the house a little bit more as well. But just hovering, you can hover more easily on a PC. When I'm on my device, I've got to have very light fingers, otherwise I press something. But just hover over it, it will tell you what the room is. At the moment, it may change, but there's more of the sort of academic-y stuff here. And so this is where you'll find the soul plan room, the meditation room, the block therapy room. I've set up a tarot room as well. I think the bottom, that's it, bathrooms there. I think that's a swimming pool next to it. What I'm probably going to do is set up a training school. So you go in through one portal, and then the workshops, if people like the experience, I will add the workshops there. And it really gives a new lease of life to things that are on my webinar platform, because not everything is on my Zenler site. There's actually not a huge amount on there. But what it means is, if the stream works the way I expect it to work, all of the workshops that I've done on the webinar platform, I can set up rooms for them. And it might be, I say, look, for those of you who have purchased XYZ program, so if you purchase a Money Breakthrough program, for example, or you purchased the Huna On Demand program, on Saturday between 2 and 3, I'm going to be in the room if you have questions, and that just makes it a nice dynamic way to do it. So if you would like to do one of those programs, I've set it up as the half-day program so far, but I will have an announcement to make about that for those people who purchase it. I won't tell you here, it'll be a nice surprise. But if you want to purchase one of those, give me your feedback, and if the feedback is positive, then what I can do is set up other workshops around that, and I'll put those into their own building, their own annex, if you want to put it like that. But yeah, that's it. So go forth, check it out, press the buttons, enjoy the sound effects. It's a place where you might tell somebody else, and let's just say somebody you've been wanting to catch up with. You might not know them personally, but you've met them here, let's say on Facebook or online, wherever it, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it might be. You can say, I'm going to be in the coffee shop on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. If you're around, come and join me. And then they just click the link and you end up in the coffee shop. I haven't yet set up any no, I have set up a private coaching room, just 2 people. Final thing I'm going to say, the number of, because when you log in, if you haven't clicked on a dot, the dots are pulsating and there's a little sign that says click. So you need to click on one of the dots to sit down, and you can move around at will once you've clicked in. The number of flashing dots denotes the number of people that can interact in the room. So if I set up a room that's just got 2 dots, that means you and one other person will be in that space and no one else can physically get in. They can click on the room, but they won't be able to see or hear anything that's going on until somebody leaves. So I've set that up as a coaching room. And again, if there's a client who's willing, when we do our next coaching session, I'm going to see how you like the space. It's a really nice office space. Haven't got a screenshot of that one to hand. But yes. Oh my gosh, that is fabulous. So Sita, who's been amazing in testing everything out for me and just really wonderful in your feedback, I so appreciate it. Sita has said, I've spoken to a friend this evening and we're going to meet in your coffee shop soon. Marvelous, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. And what I might do, because once you're in a particular space with some of them, I can set up breakout rooms. So what I might do, based on what you've said, Sita, I'll see if I can do it for the coffee shop. What I might do is set up a breakout room that is just for 2 people, which means if you and a friend go, oh, other people have come into the coffee shop, and you actually had your mics open or your cameras on and you were having a conversation, you thought, oh, I'm not sure I want everyone to hear this. What I'll do is I'll have a go and see if I can set up a little private room as well. It won't have all the bells and whistles to it, but it just means that no one else can interrupt that conversation if it got juicy and there was something you wanted to talk about. But yeah, absolutely. Oh no, but you're most welcome, and thank you again for testing all of this out, because your feedback has been really, really valuable, and I love the ideas that you've been having and sparking my creativity also in terms of what can be created. So I will say to all of you, make use of the space. No, seriously, it's been very, very cool. So make use of the space, go in, press the buttons, have a look around, navigate your way through, make use of the rooms, particularly if you haven't had a dance break in a while. Now that's one playlist. I say only, I've got so much music I love. So there's 50 things on that playlist, but I'm going to do some themed ones. So I might do a rock playlist and a pop playlist and a rare groove and soul playlist and a reggae playlist, and Elvis, he needs a whole playlist on his own. But at the moment there's an eclectic mix. I start with Dirty Dancing, we then have Don't You by the Pussycat Dolls, I think we then get into Rihanna and work. So there's a range of things. So maybe go and have a dance break if you need a little bit of a break. And I might, and Sita, this was based on one of your suggestions, I might actually set up an exercise room, a gym. I'll put a playlist in there as well. And you were talking about the fact that it's really nice to work out with someone else. So both of you, for example, because you can access it on your tablet. One thing I will say in terms of, if I put the link on Facebook and you press the link, often you get a message saying that your browser isn't supported. What you have to do, press and hold, copy, or if you're on a desktop, cut and paste. So copy the link, paste it into Safari if you're on an iOS device, because if it happens, first of all, I'm clicking it and going, well, I know the room is there, but it's not working. But cut and paste into Safari, because it is supported on Safari. And then I could, because my exercise bike is there, I could prop my iPad up on the little stand on the exercise bike, and I can be pedaling along. It might be that somebody I've invited is pedaling along next to me. Occasionally when I have a break, I might open a microphone and say, right, what are you doing now? Say, I might get on the mat now. Okay. And then if I want to, I can have the playlist I think Eye of the Tiger is a good one for the playlist. And then I can just have the playlist going. The other person or people who is there, they can be listening to a separate playlist. So possibilities are endless. I said that when I first laid eyes on it. I've only had it for about 2 weeks, so just getting started. The founder of this, the guy who's created this, he's like, Marilyn, you're more of an expert almost than I am on the whole platform, and I built it and I'm sharing my ideas. He's like, wow, never thought of that, didn't think of that. So it's blowing his mind in terms of the way that I've used it and what I've created, but I've only had it 2 weeks. So it's quite a lot. It's 20 rooms, all different, with the sound effects, with the themes, all of that sort of stuff. So please feel free to go in, play with it, use the space, and let me know when you get on. And if you have any ideas about something that will be really cool, let me know. And if you're in the Fearless Public Speaking group or the MBS coaching group, the Mind, Body, Spirit and Soul coaching group, I have sent you the password for the respective rooms. So for the Fearless Public Speaking group, you've got the password for the theatre and the Pomodoro room. And for those of you doing MBS, you've got the password for the co-working space, the Pomodoro room. My suggestion is, if maybe your little break in your day, head on in there, set the timer, do a little bit of work, and feel free to, of course, if you know someone else on the program, invite them in to join you. And it may be that you meet someone else in there, they're not on your program, but they're on one of my other programs. So you don't have to speak. That's the beauty of this. But if you want to, you can open your mic and go hi, or type hello in the chat, because there's a co-working space that I'm in for another group. We're often in the space, we're not talking unless somebody poses a question, but we just say hi in the chat. And then we're all just there in our own space. And I might think of a question and go, hey, you know, Richard is the founder. Hey, Richard, I've just been thinking, what about this? Or what about that? Or I've just created this. Or do you want to look at that? He'll answer. And then we'll just go back to work. But it's that people have described it as that sense of, you know, other people are around, and that changes the dynamic and it changes that sense of accountability. So I shall leave it there. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Thank you so much to those of you who have already come in and had a play. Thank you, Sita Jones, for your always amazing feedback and being willing to just dive in and have a go. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing all of you at some point in one of the virtual rooms, because during the day I've got it here often open on my iPad, and I might just go, oh, I fancy the other, like I was doing my house cleaning over the weekend. So I went into the club during the day, put the playlist on and just listened to that while I was tidying up and cleaning. I had somebody else, I was speaking to a woman from the States. She said, Marilyn, I'm bookmarking the club. I'm going to be in the club tonight. And I'm also going to go and have a coffee in your coffee shop. So people are using it in really fun ways. So enjoy, make the most of it. My main website, and what I'll do is I'll probably add a link to this to my main website. It's transformationstm.com. So it's TRANCE, F for Freddie, so FORMATIONS, DM as in trademark, so transformationstm.com. Click the red what's new button at the top, normally top right of the site, and what that will happen cleaning the house, yeah, actually this is a big house to clean, but what will happen is when you click the what's new button, a panel will slide out, and then you can scroll down and new things get added to the top. So I will probably add that picture right there. I will add the URL if you haven't sort of, you know, written it down or made a note of it, and that means you can click in from that place and that space. But yes, I think I'm going to have to employ several cleaners for this one, Sita. I need my full complement of staff. I need my gardener, my chef, my chauffeur, my cleaner, my PA. I'm going to need people to run this house. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Sita, for your comments. And thank you. And if you've got any comments or questions or feedback, put them in the comment section once this video goes live. But thank you all. And I will catch you later. And Sita, oh, yeah, I need my full complement of staff now, for sure. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Bye.